All right, beautiful people. It is Saturday. When you're editing your story, when you're editing your material, typically I do two types of editing. I'll do a daily series of editing where basically I'm reading through my material that I produced the day before. I do that because I want to put myself back into my story, put myself back into the work and the progress that I've accomplished up to some point. When I'm reading that material, it allows me to quickly get back to where I need to go. I'm rereading with intent to put myself back into the story. I do that as a deliberate process. It's not like I'm making something up and I'm just restarting. I'm doing it deliberately, trying to put myself back in the story, and I'm finding errors in the process. That's the first and most common kind of editing that I do. The second kind of editing that I'm going to end up doing is completion editing. I've finished the work and I'm going through looking for errors, looking for continuity stuff, making sure that I don't have any of those ex machina things where the characters are just magically acquiring abilities. That's the rough and the final edit process. Typically, whatever your word count is for a day, typically you can do twice that on an edit day. So if you're doing 2,000 words in a day, you should be able to edit through 4,000 words in about the same time. It's not easier, it's just you can cover more ground because you're not creating those lines, you're parsing through them quickly and you're making sure that they're correct. The rough edit is basically making sure that everything is there that needs to be there. Everything that needs to occur has occurred during the story. The final edit, I'm going through and I'm looking for the grammatical, the spelling errors, and those kind of fine-tuned grammar things. There's no real point in going through with a fine-tooth comb before you've gone and edited to make sure that your rough is where it should be. Because if you're going and fine-tooth comb editing everything, you're never going to get anywhere. Just get the words out of your head, do your rough edit, make sure that you've got all your pieces and parts where they should be, do your fine edit, and refine your grammar, refine your pieces and parts. And obviously you can right-click on things, make a problem go away quickly. When you're doing your final edit, that's when you want to focus on that process. I've done my in-process edits to put myself back in the headspace. I've done my rough edits, where I've made sure that all my major pieces and parts and conversations that needed to happen have happened. I do my final edits to make sure that my grammar is straight, and that's just a simple read through, make sure that there's no colored lines underneath anything. Then I'll take my manuscript and I'll set it to audio. When you set your manuscript to audio and you have to listen to the computer read back in a digital voice, you are going to hear every single grammar error that you missed. It's amazing how much accuracy adding a computer-based read-through works, because when you're in that rough edit and you're in that final edit, you can get tired and you can gloss over things. But when that dorky little computer voice is reading through and it's the cat moon jumped over, it's jarring to hear, and you just stop the playback and you can quickly make the edit. I think Microsoft's Word had that as a pretty good function. I've done that kind of edit through Descript, which is an online, you take your transcript and it can read it in whatever voice you're using. The other one, I think there was a few text to voice Chrome extensions that you can get for Google Docs that'll read your stuff back, but those cost money to read those individual tranches of text. So you have to basically pay to have the computer voice read your edits back to you. The results help. If you can get the computer to read your work back to you, the computer doesn't get tired and you can sit back and listen to the computer read your work, stop the playback, make the correction, reset the playback a little bit, and then restart the playback, and it'll start reading again from whatever point where you stopped it, and you can hear audibly the corrections. It's that whole read your story out loud kind of thing but when you're reading your story out loud, your brain can get tired, and you read things as you meant to write them, not as you did write them. If you can get the computer to read your story back as a fourth editing phase, you're usually going to get a really good product. So have a great weekend. Enjoy.